So today we're going to talk about cichlids in a tank and how to start off with cichlids in a tank. And as you can see, this cichlid is doing fine. He's twice the size I got him. And he remained lower than the actual weight once I got him. I just tapered him into more food and slowly took it off, you know, so he would be his natural weight. And apparently they didn't feed him very well at the local pet food store. We won't say which. But of course, you need a thermometer always. You want to make sure cichlids don't go above 80 degrees. Now, let me tell you a little story about cichlids. And these are, I have another one over here which I'm going to show you. This one's coming straight off the screen. And, you know, they can tolerate anywhere from 72 to 82 degrees. So they can be very cold. At the same time, they can be very hot, which is unusual because most saltwater fish tolerate it at about no more than 75, 76 degrees is the temperature that you want to keep them. And that's winter and summer. But I generally get cold winters and warm summers. So I feel no need for a heater in the winter. Just remember that. If you live in a hot climate, you don't really need a heater. You know, your temperature in your house is going to be no more than 75, 76. So that's fine. And with cichlids, it's perfect. So as you can see, I've got other stuff too. I've got Plecos in the tank. 2 Plecos which grew in size as I fed them, and I didn't even feed them that much. They just grew so big. I guess they were young when I got them. And the other ones are twice the size as this electric yellow. This yellow fish you see right here. He is actually over 8 months, almost 9 months. Just out of the pet store, so you know they're older than that. So I've been doing pretty good. I use artificial always since my last excursion with saltwater. Saltwater, and I'll tell you right now, I use rock. You know, I didn't use plants. And in saltwater, you use live rock, and it just sheds the entire tank. So if you need basically like a 300 gallon to put like maybe 2 or 3 rock, and I put 4 rock across a 55 gallon, and it just ruined it. You know, I actually had a fish for a year, I'm not gonna lie, but the cost was deadly. It was like spending hundreds of dollars on fish that were just gonna die the minute they got so much bacteria bloom, which is stuff caused by bacteria, and it'll cover your whole tank, and it'll engulf the fish as well if you let it get too bad. And I was unable to clean it, so I went with freshwater, and that's why we're here today. You know, it's kind of like, what would you have with freshwater fish like cichlids? You may think they're just like every other fish, but they're not. They actually are very aggressive, and they tolerate very little fish. However, there are fish you can put with them. One I highly recommend, which is what I have, and I can't fit no more fish in here because I have 3 cichlids and 2 big Plecos. So they're actually crowded in this tank. So I recommend Plecos. I'm not going to go into full name, but it's big. And they are basically related to the catfish family. And they're armored so they can tolerate anything. They're great for other fish. Mainly these aggressive fish. They are already aggressive themselves, but they pose no threat. I'll just tell you that. So, the other fish you might want to keep with a cichlid. They're African cichlids, actually. They're from Africa. But I have one African cichlid, and the other ones are all eventually probably from Africa as well. Are breeded down from that source, so to speak. And they're what you would get in a normal pet store. You do not want to house cichlids with other fish that you do not know about. You can try, I believe it is Redfin, and Redfins they have different styles, different kinds. They're aggressive too. And the clown loach as well, which is kind of an orange colored spotty colored fish with a pointed nose. And they're good, but if you're already crowded, don't put a clown loach in there and expect them to survive, because like my cichlids, they've already got almost 4 inches. So if over that. So I'm worried, that my tank is getting too crowded for this situation, but it's good now. But if I were to add other fish, it could be devastating. They could start fighting and kill the other fish. So, yeah. And also the red-eyed Tetra. That is a good fish, apparently, so to speak, from what I hear. It's a smaller fish, but they're supposed to be okay with cichlids. So, we've got a lot of it covered. I've got a little helicopter in here where they can climb in and out, and they like that. He likes that for solitude. And fake plants all over the place. So I plan to get more and just shove this whole thing with fake plants, or else go with regular live plants. But I suggest you watch out for soil, rock that's live, and anything that's live. Even your shrimp, feeding a brine shrimp can discolor the whole tank and create a foam off everything. So you gotta be real careful. I use bloodworms and also cichlid flakes, of course, and that's omega-1. But they make cichlid flakes. And also get yourself some easy test strips. These will test the salinity of the water, and you can dip them in the water and pull them out, and it gives you a little guide here on the back for freshwater and saltwater as to whether your tank is doing good or not, or whether it needs severe trouble. Usually, if you don't do anything to it, okay, but add this at the beginning. Don't ever add it to your tank, which is removes chlorine and chloramine. Okay? When you remove the chlorine, you're taking away what can kill the fish. So that's good. But if it tells you, 2 drops for every gallon, then you do only 2 drops for every gallon. You get a big 5-gallon bucket, that's a 5-gallon bucket. You do 10 drops and you stop. I don't care what they say or whatever. You don't want to mess up your tank. So you put, say they say it's heavy in chlorine. Well, it might be, but maybe adding 1 drop every time can actually ruin your tank. So you might want to do it like 1 time and then don't do it again or whatever. So you want to add this and let it sit for about 30 minutes in a bucket, clean bucket. and then slowly add it to your tank. You know, don't just pour it in. Get a smaller bucket, maybe a pot or pan, and you can add it to your tank. So that's pretty good, you know. And also, I have a filter, which is a marine land filter, and you might want to try polishing pads. I don't recommend them every month. I think it's obtrusive to pay, you know, that much money, and every month they're not going to get rotted. I've had mine for over 5 months, and I just clean out everything and then put a new filter in. So if I can, put new carbon in, but you don't necessarily need carbon for freshwater. So just remember that too. So you can use it, but it's not necessary. Your filtration devices alone, your media, those little solid balls that are inside of your filter, they'll do fine with filtering out.